The early line, it's a Wednesday and it's a hump day. Ooh, boy, do we got a show for you. 2 hours ready to go. Best bets, fade the public polls here. A little bit of PME in hour number 2. Kevin Walsh going to join us, and also a lot more good stuff to get to, which does include attack of the underdogs last night in the association. Did you watch teams getting double digits win games outright last night? Absolutely. And also, Victor Wembanyama, what does it mean for his future here, at least over the next couple days, as he bounced his head off of the floor like a basketball yesterday and has a concussion? The Sixers won. Terrible goals given up in Buffalo. Josh Allen, known for ruining big games here, bangs the drum. They take a loss for the Sabres, and away we go, Joe. Great times getting you halfway to the weekend. That's what we do. It's DRS's show, Ranieri. It's the early line. Let's go, Joe.
Yeah, the zigzag is alive and well here in the NBA playoffs, and maybe even the NHL playoffs as well. So just like that, Donnie, we got what looks like some quick series on one hand, but looks like maybe not so quick on the other.
Yeah, Los Angeles Lakers beat my Houston Rockets last night, gave me my first loss in a couple days. It happens. I will definitely bounce back tonight, but now it's time to serve up the hottest topic of the day. Get that large cup of coffee, fill it up, put an extra shot in there. Let's go, Joe. Where are we at today?
All right, Donnie, let's talk about the hypocrisy coming from the suits at the league office and their broadcast partners ahead of tomorrow night's all-important NFL draft. Because if you've turned on ESPN at any moment this week, you're going to see a whole lot of analysts as well as NFL officials crying on television, begging reporters and fans to put their phones away for tomorrow night's draft. Why? Well, they're desperately pleading with the media not to tip the draft picks on social media before, well, Roger Goodell can waddle up to the podium and announce them for himself. They claim they want to protect the, quote, majesty, unquote, of the event. But let's call it what it is. They want to protect their ratings so they can cash in on another manufactured television spectacle. Who are they kidding here, Donnie? The NFL draft is no longer some sort of sacred, magical ceremony that demands reverence. It's a sterile annual business transaction now where billionaires decide where former college players are going to be employed for the next 3 years, and then, who are we kidding, eventually cut. These networks built their entire empires on reporters breaking transactional news stories. They literally pay insiders millions of dollars to be the first to hop onto X and put out that a backup punter's contract has just been signed. But now, suddenly they want every reporter to sit on their hands for 90 seconds to protect the broadcast. You got to be kidding me. In this industry, Donnie, we all know being first gets you credibility. Sharp bettors, fantasy football players who actually drive the engagement for this sport want that information the absolute second it happens, maybe even a few seconds before it happens. But let's talk about the absolute irony of this entire thing with the NFL demanding we treat this night like some sort of holy holiday. We already know who is going #1 overall tomorrow night. Oh, yeah, and that player has already decided he has more important things to do than actually show up at the draft. The entire thing is hilarious. Ironic as well, though, isn't it? Because do you honestly think any red-blooded sports fan cares if their phone buzzes with the Jets' third-round pick 2 minutes before it happens on TV? I don't think so. Besides, Donnie, we have far more important things to worry about coming up, like figuring out who's going to win the ping pong ball lottery in the NBA draft and praying that the basketball gods have enough of a sense of humor to make sure it's the Oklahoma City Thunder.
How about that? And, Joe, you are I'm telling you right now, if that happens, shake it up, fall out. We're going to need a CBA readjustment here, and a lot of teams would be angry at that because, hey, Dallas, you made a bad trade. Wait, how did Dallas get the number 1 over draft pick to get Cooper Flagg? Always a challenge in the association. But great topics here that brought up, Joe, and also understand this. As we move forward this week with the draft, is it just me, or does the draft not have as much hype as it has had in the past couple of years where now they're trying to say, look, it's always going to get good ratings because it's the NFL, but please save us here. And understand this one thing, too. I love social media during NFL Sundays, Joe. But how about this? I'll sit down in my living room and watch the Philadelphia Eagles game. I have Twitter up here. Great pass by Jalen Hurts, touchdown. Wait a second, they're at the 50-yard line. I'm watching 2 to 3 plays behind on a delay and already getting the notifications. You're not going to stop it. If you want to put your phone down, but to tell people whose job is to put this information out here, to not put the information out there, and then at the end of the year, your boss goes, hey, you weren't breaking so many stories. You used to love the draft. Yeah, they told me I couldn't do it this year. Nonsense. That must stop. Sit back, enjoy the draft, and deal with it as it goes. Hottest topics across the sports landscape, Joe, which include the early lineup. How about this? The Baltimore Ravens. Jesse Minter's a defensive guy. He's the head coach. Wouldn't he love to get Nnamdi Madubuike back into that lineup after a really interesting neck injury and surgery? Looks like, hopefully, let's just say, he's back on the mend.
Yeah, fingers crossed here because, he was a big reason as to why the Ravens could not get to the quarterback last year either. I mean, once he went down, that defense kind of went down as well. So fingers crossed that everything is going to be okay. And looks like Raven fans got something to be a little excited about here.
How bad is it in Chicago where it's like, I don't even want you to fire me. I'm just going to step down. This stinks. Billy Donovan steps down as the Chicago Bulls head coach. Could he be on the move back to college, another pro job? What's in the future for Billy Donovan? Certainly not going to be with the Bulls.
No, and it's time that whole organization, again, light a match and start from scratch. But do not be shocked. Orlando Magic is being rumored, maybe even a return to the University of Florida, as Todd Golden is now maybe a front runner for the Golden State Warriors job. Yeah, look at that.
Golden to Golden State, rinse and repeat, replace with Donovan back in his hometown. Could it be a perfect move for the Florida Gators? We'll find out. How about this story? Coach K's grandson charged in a fatal DUI accident. And I say this all the time. Like, I'm telling you, Joe, like back when I was, I don't want to say a drinker, social drinker, right? I haven't had a drink in a couple years now. The worst case scenario ever in my life was like, what happens if I have too many drinks, drive home, get a DUI, or furthermore, where maybe it wasn't my fault, got in an accident and somebody passed away. Boop, blow into this pipe right here. Oh, no, you're over the legal limit. You're going to jail. Don't drink and drive. It's so easy today. Back in the day, the excuse was, I don't even know the number to a cab. Everybody has Uber on their phone. Just punch that Uber button, get home safely.
Yeah, tell Tiger that. We've got it's a rough situation, Donnie, and unfortunately, it's a preventable and stupid mistake that a lot of people have made in their lives and will continue to, unfortunately. But the bigger issue here is that Coach K's influence or whatever it may have been. Yeah, can't bail you out of that one. So no matter who you think you may know, ultimately, personal responsibility is what it's all about.
Exactly. Tiger dropped the president's name to the police. Like, yeah, who cares? You're still going in right now at this point. So sometimes you can't get out of everything you want to get out of here. How about getting out of a 12-game losing streak? The Mets had a 3-0 lead. Everything was looking good until it wasn't. 5-3 loss for the Mets, 12 losses in a row. The race to the bottom with the Phillies and also the Mets spending all of that money.
Yeah, and listen, the good news is they won't lose every game this year, Donnie. Just looking like they'll lose most of them, in epic fashion too.
It's almost impossible. Like the Rockies, like, yeah, we win 1 out of every 3 games here. What's going on with the Mets' 12-game losing streak? Mike Vrabel had to have tough conversations at home. Are you telling me he sat his wife and his kids down and laid out exactly what he's been doing for probably the past couple years with Diana Rossini? We want those details, Joe.
Yeah, I'm sure they were not shocked, Donnie. I am sure of that. Maybe the players, but I don't think his family was.
Mike Tomlin's going to join NBC's Sunday Night Football coverage as the 32nd man in the booth for that show. And then also Joe Buck, set to host ESPN Jeopardy. How about that, people? That's a way to get your Wednesday started. The hottest topics, we deliver them on the SportsGrid Network. It's Joe Ranieri. It's Donnie Rightside. 2 action-packed hours underway on the early line. Coming up next, right after this break. Spread lines that you need to know on a Wednesday. Boy, had some fun. Were you checking out the association last night? Me being a Sixers fan, I watched, there was tip-off. There's a couple games going on at once, and I told you last night through Twitter, Joe. I was like, you know what? I want to watch this Sabres game versus Buffalo because I love the atmosphere. I just wanted to check that one out. Checked back in on the Philadelphia 76ers last night, and they were getting blown out right off the bat. I'm like, I don't need to watch this. Checked in at the half, and the Sixers had the lead and got the victory. You say, wow, underdogs running away. Well, how about this game with underdogs, Joe? The Orlando Magic. Yeah, that's right, the Magic. A 1-0 series lead against the Detroit Pistons tonight, taking on game number 2. This line opened up around 9 points, Joe. Now we're sitting across in the marketplace. You see the graphic there, minus 8.5 in a total of 218.5. Kitchen sink game for the Pistons here, but the Magic showed up in game number 1, Joe. They weren't scared. Give me a spread line tonight we can look at for this one.
Listen, this opened up 9.5, Donnie, and I do not understand this line at all, given the fact that what we saw from the Pistons was, well, vintage Orlando Magic. We know what Orlando is capable of, and they, styles make fights, right? And this Orlando Magic team, as they are playing right now, and we've seen this before in years past, where teams with all the talent in the world, and you're like, they're coached terribly. They got too much talent to be this bad. Well, I got news for you. I think Detroit's going to have their hands full. But this is at a number now, Donnie, where, listen, Detroit can win this game. That doesn't mean they're going to cover it, though, right? It's not 2.5, where just pick the outright winner. We're talking 3 buckets here, and nothing that I saw from the Pistons. If Cade Cunningham doesn't do it, I guess nobody else is there to do it for him. So I think this is going to be a very physical battle here tonight, where I would only want to carry the points. Expecting the Pistons to run away with a game, I'm not sure that's going to happen here.
Yeah, we'll find out. And again, can't go 0-2 in your own building as the number 1 overall seed here in the Eastern Conference and still expect to win that series. Maybe they can, but you don't want to see it happen. They're still favored to win this game by roughly double digits. I'll tell you a team that's favored by roughly double digits and more tonight, Joe. That's the Oklahoma City Thunder, who slapped the Phoenix Suns. Now, granted, you saw some of these game number 1s here go the way of the higher seeded team. Like, this game actually stinks. An attack of the underdogs yesterday. Can it continue today? And the Phoenix Suns, they can still get blown out and cover this number, Joe, as they are 17.5-point underdogs to the Oklahoma City Thunder and a total of 215.5. Some might say the Suns are just walking dead right now, but that's what I thought of the Sixers last night, and they won outright by double digits. Suns and the Thunder tonight, Joe. Give me a spread line to look forward to here.
Well, I mean, we're talking about a line that opened up at 19.5, and the market laughed at it and started pushing it back to what now, 16.5, 17.
Yeah,
Donnie. So that is a huge number, especially given the fact that we saw these two teams play a couple of weeks ago, and wasn't it a Phoenix beatdown here in this spot? So I can tell you this. If Phoenix doesn't stop turning the ball over, I think they have 17 turnovers. They gave up 34, 37 points on turnovers. If you keep turning the ball over and giving OKC easy buckets, you're going to lose by 40 again. But this is the NBA, after all. We saw your Sixers bounce back in a big way. Listen, I don't think Phoenix wins the game, but I think Booker and company are going to have a little bit of pride. I think the market might be overreacting with this one. Oklahoma City this year wasn't an ATS, machine here. They had trouble covering these kinds of numbers consistently, and I think the Phoenix Suns can stay within it.
I always think it's kind of interesting, too, Joe, in that playoff format. Like, usually in the NBA, like, you're on the road, you're in one city one night, flying out that night to a next city. Sometimes you get blown out. You get a couple days to decompress, away from the family, hang out with the teammates, get some work in, and maybe put in a better performance for game number 2. We'll see if the Suns can do that tonight. How about the Yankees and the Boston Red Sox, Joe? The Red Sox explode on Monday with a lot of runs and a lot of hits, and they go right back to being the Red Sox in 2026. Shut out last night, 4-0. And you said, Joe, we need to see more out of Louis Heel. You got that last night. Now, 2 good lefties on the mound tonight. Max Fried for the New York Yankees, taking on Ranger Suarez of the Boston Red Sox. And the Yankees are the favorites here. You see that graphic, Joe? Minus 146 in a total of 7.5. Yankees won yesterday. Yankees Red Sox back at it today. What's the spread line we're looking forward to here?
That was just pathetic by the Boston lineup yesterday. I mean, Louis Hill was in, I think, 4 or 5 innings and only thrown 60 some odd pitches. The Boston hitters are they're lost at the plate right now. Stanton had a big night. They got it done. But listen, now you couldn't hit Hill. Now all of a sudden, Max Fried is coming to town. But Max has given up his fair share of runs so far this year. And Ranger Suarez, this is why Boston went out and signed him, right, Donnie? The problem is the Yankees seem to be hitting lefties pretty well. They hit early pretty good last night. Now Suarez, who's had some issues so far. This could be another tough one here for the Boston Red Sox.
Toronto and Los Angeles, that being the Angels here. Lauer, the lefty, will be on the mound for Toronto, going up against Jose Soriano. Very good start to his Major League Baseball season. The favorite tonight, the Los Angeles Angels, at a minus 152 price and a total, Joe, of 8.5. West Coast baseball in the afternoon. Keep in mind, a 3:07 start here.
Yeah, Soriano has been just absolutely phenomenal, Donnie. I mean, phenomenal. And by the way, I mean, Patrick Corbin goes 5 innings, only gives up 2 hits and 1 earned run. Tell me you had that on the bingo card last night. But I got news for you. I'm glad the Blue Jays scored 4 runs last night because Soriano seems to be unhittable this year. Unbelievable start to the season. Keeps the ball on the ground, keeps it a lot of swing and miss stuff that he has got here. I think this is going to be tough for the Blue Jays. The Angels, I think, could very well handle business, which, again, is why they're about $1.50, $1.55 favorite here.
Broad and Patterson will be rocking tonight in South Philadelphia as the Pittsburgh Penguins come to town to take on the Philadelphia Flyers. And it's the Flyers that are favored in this game, and the Flyers with a 2-0 series lead. Sometimes, Joe, playing in your own building that's that hyped up, you sort of get a little bit of that, angst. Shoot the puck! Oh, no, we're down 1-0 here, but the Flyers faithful will be there tonight. It's been a minute since they've been in the playoffs for a home playoff game. Flyers is the favorite tonight, Joe. What are we thinking tonight as a spread line?
I mean, you're going to get every ounce of what Pittsburgh has here. They know the series will be over if they go down 3-0. So we're about to find out what this Penguins team is made of here tonight, Donnie. I think Philadelphia is ready to take the punch, though.
The orange shirts will be back in the seats tonight. Gritty's going to be going wild. Can the Philly faithful give them enough for the win? Because the one thing we know, the Phillies ain't giving us any wins. There's that. We'll be back right after the break. Some baseball news and notes right here on the early line for a Wednesday hump day here. Donnie Rightside and Joe Ranieri. And we start in Philadelphia with Alec Bohm. I don't know what's going on in this guy's personal life now, but entering into the season, you have a chance coming up on your free agency year to say, you know what, I'm going to put up really good statistics and make a lot of money. So coming into the year, you got Scott Boras as your agent. You're feeling good. Then all of a sudden, we have the off-the-field turmoil where Alec Bohm and his parents are in a struggle for money. We'll get that into just a few moments here. But then you say, okay, well, sometimes that extracurricular activities can bleed over to your performance on the field. Alec Bohm, it is April the 22nd. He's hitting 128 in the Phillies lineup today in a free agent year. Fired his agent to try to change up, I guess, the, vibes in the room for him, and also now upping the ante with another lawsuit there against his parents, accusing them of orchestrating a plan to take control of his finances for their own gain. So your parents are stealing your money. You have to fire your agent. You're in the midst of your worst career stretch that you've ever had in a year that's hoping to recoup the money that your parents probably lost you investing into condominiums somewhere at this point. Alec Bohm's season couldn't be any worse to start off than it is right now.
Right, and yet he didn't pitch and give up 7 runs to the Cubs again last night. So
No.
we can try and certainly point that, yes, he's not having a great season and might have other things on his mind. But listen, we know this with baseball players. It's not ability. A lot of times, Donnie, it's what's happening above the shoulders. Hopefully things will calm down for the kid and he'll be back. But I'll tell you this, I mean, if you keep giving up 7+ runs a game, it really is not going to matter one way or the other. So the Phillies have some issues here, and Bohm is just one of many, I think, right now.
It is, and the Phillies just ice cold at this point right now. The Cubs are beating them over the head. The Cubs beat the Mets over the head, and away we go. And you're right about it. It takes it like that game was 1-1 for a long time last night. Bust up a couple runs, 4-1 lead changes the entire complexion of the game. Weren't able to hold up. The Phillies took another loss. And again, one reason why I'm not really killing the Phillies now is because the Mets just keep losing along with them as well. How about this story, which I do find interesting here? Chicago Cubs manager Craig Counsell described Major League Baseball's Shohei Ohtani rule as bizarre. There's not another player like that, Counsell said, but one team gets a different set of rules for that player. Now, I see where he's coming from, but also the comeback is, all right, well, even it up. Let Ian Happ pitch 5 innings tomorrow, and then you get the extra pitcher. Am I wrong, Joe?
Why not? I'm with you. It is kind of a bit head-scratching here, Donnie, but we've seen this in years, Pan. Like they'll go ahead and make all sorts of very interesting adjustments when you have generational talent, right? That you're trying to preserve, Donnie. Not as shocked. That only happens when you have so much talent, it's absurd. Like Tiger, dominates. Every golf course is now got to be extended 190 yards a hole, right? So same situation here with Ohtani. They're going to make adjustments that suit the game's best players.
Exactly. And again, if Ohtani was just a middling 5th inning middle reliever that gave you 9 pitches, like nobody would care about that. Like, oh, that's interesting. But understand this. It is a rule that's interesting on the surface of it. But then again, hey, Phillies, you're mad about it? Bryce, you're free to pitch 5 innings to open up tomorrow night, and we don't have to add another pitcher. But we know how that goes, and we know that scenario is. Zach Wheeler, he's free to go 5+ innings, it looks like, on Saturday. But, Joe, is he also going to hit and help out the Phillies offense? Because that's what they need.
Yeah, but they also need, when they're not hitting, to suppress some runs, and it'll be great to have him back in the rotation here, especially at the top of the rotation. So I hope everything is good to go. I hope he's 100% because they need their ace back there. He is the true stopper of that staff.
We talked about what's the deal with Sonny Gray. He's not striking anybody out here in 2026. Well, now he has a right hamstring strain, and that might be code for it. Yeah, it's just not working out. Oh, your hamstring does hurt? All right, put him on the IL, work some things out.
Yeah, you know what happens there, though? It's, when mechanics aren't what they're supposed to be, it's amazing the other injuries that you end up getting there, Donnie, right? Like hamstring, because you're not doing, your mechanics are terrible and you're putting too much strain there. So, yes, it doesn't shock me here.
The body works things out evenly. Okay, my left hamstring hurts. I'll take it a little bit easier. Wait a second, just hurt your right calf? Yeah, because your body's all out of whack trying to overcompensate to help out another part of your body. Happens all the time. By the way, helping out your body and your team. Let's skip ahead to this one. The Mets' current plan is for Juan Soto to return to the lineup tomorrow, which was a tweet from yesterday, which means we're expecting Soto back just in time for that 12-game losing streak to end. Maybe?
Just in time for him to run out a ground ball and then tweak his hamstring again in calf, Donnie. So, yep, congratulations. Enjoy him back while you can. Yeah, something tells me the pressure for him to come back, yeesh.
Yeah. They're on a 12-game streak. Hey, Juan, we'll see you in 2 weeks. 12-game losses. Come on, please come back and help us out. We'll be right back.
Yep.
What are we, in LSU at this point, Joe? And you might say to yourself, oh, well, what do you mean LSU? Why are we going to bring up a topic like that? Well, in LSU, big business is LSU as athletics. And when big business doesn't go right with the state university, government now steps in and gets angry at who the coach might be and how much they want to spend. Let's enter in Kentucky here. What's Kentucky? Hey, they're blue bloods here. They love their basketball, but also their governor is also saying he wants to step in and say, the heck's going on at the state university here, Joe?
The level of involvement with the government and the universities is just absolutely hilarious. It really is. How you got nothing else going that you got to be this involved here across the board? I do not get it, Donnie. I really don't. But that just goes to show you how much it means here to certain individuals in politics.
There are billions of dollars of fraud going in every state. Crime here, crime there, getting things worked out, helping the people. That's what your job is. And now the governor's like, hey, this guy's making $1 million over here. I'm like, what? Well, come on, bigger things to worry about here. But that's what happens when in the state of Kentucky, what do? Race horses and root for Kentucky basketball? One of those two things. And if one thing you don't like what's going on there and you lose early in the tournament, you want some changes to be made at that university. LSU and Kentucky, that's what you do. In the SEC, it just means more, Joe. How about meaning more to Wisconsin player, which means more probably in money? Wisconsin transfer John Blackwell has now committed to Duke. Now earns 19 points and earned third-team All-Big Ten honors. One of the best guards to enter the portal. Now going over to the Brotherhood.
Yeah, well, this is, again, why Duke is, Duke is Duke, right? Because they're able to recruit. They're able to reload. Doesn't matter how many NBA Rookie of the Years that they send over. They just get stacked, and that's what they do. The rich always get richer with this with the new NIL and the portal. So Duke is no different.
Get used to it here. And how about this from ESPN? Donovan determined he wanted to give the team a clean break. We're talking about Billy Donovan here and the Chicago Bulls. Provide the ability for the organization to undergo its front office search and allow the new top basketball executive to make the next head coaching hire. Basically what he's saying, this is a dumpster fire. I've made millions of dollars. I can't deal with this anymore. Good luck, Chicago basketball fans.
Yeah, and I think Billy Donovan is smart enough, been around the game long enough that, there are going to be a few guys looking to step down, I think, this year. There's always turnover. I don't think this means that he's done with coaching, and it wouldn't shock me if something happens with, I don't know, a former university he might have been associated with there, University of Florida. Maybe their head coach decides to step it up to the NBA, then there's a vacant Florida Gator job waiting for one Billy Donovan.
James Dolan, owner of the New York Knicks, and over the years, he's been in a lot of fights here, whether it's the ex-Knicks players here, employees, previous players, future players, people that are actually running the organization like Isaiah Thomas and that fiasco back in the day. But the Knicks had good vibes for the past couple of years, signed a lot of players. The city got back involved. Let's go Knicks. And then the Knicks lose a basketball game to Atlanta. Hit pieces come out. Now Max Kellerman's like, hey, James, you should be booted from the league. Let me understand this. If James Dolan had 5 championship banners in those rafters over the past 20 years, he could do whatever the heck he wanted. But the fact that Knicks fans get so angry they haven't won in like 50-plus years, boot James Dolan, they're saying. And I got to tell you, he ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, and you got to love poor Mike Brown, too, taking strays here, because now it's his fault that the Knicks blew that 14-point lead in the fourth quarter.
Look at that. Fourth quarter blown. And maybe James Dolan just cut the mic there of our guy, Joe Ranieri. He don't want anybody talking about him like that. How dare you, Joe Ranieri, as they pull the plug on him. Now, here's a story that I want to get to as well. Like, we could spend a lot of time talking about James Dolan and the New York Knicks and where they go from here. Las Vegas people, let me understand. Like, just a few short years ago, we weren't talking about any NBA teams, NHL teams, Major League Baseball teams, NFL teams. And now we're getting them there. But also, you come to know, if you've been to Vegas, you have a beautiful arena, or stadium, as we should say, where the Vegas Raiders play right now. You also have T-Mobile Arena, where the Knights play. It's absolutely beautiful. You have the Thomas and Mack, and just about every casino has a 10 to 15,000 seat arena that they can use at any given time. And now we're led to believe if the NBA wants to come to Vegas, they got to build another arena in Vegas? How much is too much here, Joe? What is going on in Vegas?
Listen, if you got the money, who's paying for that in Vegas, by the way? I'm just curious where they're coming up with all that money. But, yeah, not from the tourism, because ain't nobody going there anymore, apparently, Donnie. But, yeah, I guess you figure if they build it, they will come. Does that still apply, Donnie? Is that is that the marketing strategy?
Do we ever get oversaturation of a marketplace? Yeah. So, like, Vegas, it's like, if you look on, like, the grand scheme of, they're building a lot of stuff in New York City or LA. Yes. Look at how many people live and how big that marketplace is. Vegas is a decent market, but now going to support, like, 4 major teams, all with different arenas. And again, it was, hey, Joe, T-Mobile Arena was built in, like, 1971, back when we were trying to attract, I don't know, the rodeo to town, and it's outdated. T-Mobile was beautiful. And correct me if I'm wrong, just about every city has a place that goes, the NBA and the NHL play in the same building. It's not that hard. No. We just built T-Mobile, but we need a brand new NBA arena just to get another NBA team in here if we want that. It's crazy times, but hey, in Vegas, if it works, they'll keep building. Hopefully, that, you know what that means too, Joe? Hey, $99 rooms this week. Awesome. Okay, Mr. Rightside, your bill is $429. $429. There's an extra $79 for this arena, $80 for this arena, and $60 for this arena that you pay in room taxes. Congratulations.
Yeah. Wasn't that originally supposed to be, I guess what, it's only for the Knights? Is that it? Like, that was the original, we got a hockey team supposed to be for the Knights. Well, okay. Well, there's plenty of room for you can put a basketball team in there too. You can share. Wouldn't be the first time. Knicks, Rangers. I mean, how many more times have we seen that? So I don't get it, Donnie, but they got the money. I guess they're willing to spend it.
And again, it's based on tourism here. So it's like, hey, remember when everybody says now, like, boy, I went to Vegas in the early 2000s. It was cheap buffets. The rooms were great. They just wanted you at the tables gambling, go see the shows. Now it's like, you better come stay at this hotel because even though it says it's $50 a night, it's $250 a night because we got to pay for 19 arenas. And also, and again, it's not the regulars, I should say. It's the people that are coming into town for vacation. I'm never going back there. I just got overcharged. Well, congratulations. You'll continue to get overcharged. How about this one? NBA action, not being overcharged. SGA, the reigning MVP, is now the 2025-2026 Clutch Player of the Year. And by the way, do we really need this award? I just got to say, Joe, do we? Come on.
I don't even know what this award is. Is this like the... you're not winning the MVP, so we give you like the clutch award. Like I don't know what this. There should be one award, like or two awards: Defensive Player of the Year, MVP. Yeah. See you later. Bye bye. That's it. I mean, why are we still giving out participation awards here in the NBA? I don't get it.
And what's the term? Like, oh, I thought that shot was clutch. And like, no, dude, I'm not voting for him. I thought Brunson was a little bit more clutch. Like, is it like when you're hanging out with your boys and like, yo, where's Joe at? Oh, he's bringing the pizza. Yo, that guy's clutch right there, coming up big with the pizza. Like, I don't know, Clutch Player of the Year, stop it. Maybe there's, I wonder what does the trophy look like, Joe, for the Clutch Player of the Year? Like, how does that determine? Do we have a trophy for it? Just a plaque or here's a certificate?
Yeah, that's a great, it should just be a certificate because that's what that award is worth. Like you should just be able to get like a piece of paper and that's it. Like, okay, you get clutch player, he bowled 2 games, you bowled 3. Like stop with this, all these awards. It's absurd, completely absurd.
Yeah. By the way, Joe, you ever been told growing up the bigger they are, the harder they fall at this point? Well, Wembanyama's over 7 feet tall, and I watched the video of him bouncing his head off of the court like a basketball and say, oh, that looked awkward. Yeah, if you were a tree falling down, it's hard to stop your head from smashing it off. And by the way, he's in concussion protocol. In the NFL, you're looking at least a week here. Spurs lost. Sometimes I see some shenanigans take place like, oh, he cleared pretty quickly through the protocol and he's back for game number 3. Let's see what happens with Wemby.
Yeah, Adam Silver is already writing a new rule about he's going to be allowed to wear a helmet now. Yeah, he's going to be allowed to wear a helmet and protect himself. So, unbelievable.
Never forget Giannis Antetokounmpo was around his brother who had COVID, but mysteriously didn't get in the COVID protocols there back in the day. Oh, yeah, it happens, people. It's a big game in Los Angeles last night. It was the Lakers and the Houston Rockets. Kevin Durant came back into the lineup for the Houston Rockets, played last night decent, was a little bit inefficient at times, but so was the offense for the Rockets, who just seemed like they couldn't make a three-point shot, going 7 of 29 from three-point range for 24%. And then there was the Lakers. They shot 46% from three-point range. LeBron James, the ageless wonder, and a 2-0 series lead for the Lakers over the Rockets. Let's hear from post-game Joe, King James, and Kevin Durant here.
Change nothing. Series is not won until you win 4. It's the first of 4. But our only mindset is game 3. The game is always played in between the lines, and that's all that matters. We have an opportunity to play the next one, and that's all you can ask for. We're in the postseason, and to have an opportunity to play another playoff game. We should be excited about that, but we also should make sure we take care of our bodies too. That was a hard-fought game. And we got tomorrow, and we got to fly down to Houston on Thursday and get ready to play on Friday. So.
And obviously you weren't there for game 1. What are you just saying overall with the offensive execution and how y'all need to improve that on that end?
We're just not making shots, to be honest. We're not shooting the ball well. We're getting good looks. We're missing a lot of layups. But yeah, I just think that's the difference in the game. They making shots. You know, Smart was the guy that knocked down shots for him today, and Kennard too, but last game Kennard got it going too. And they shooting the ball well. You know what I'm saying? So we got to cut their water off, but we also got to be aggressive to knock down our shots too.
Come on, Kevin Durant. Do what you do best at this point. Bring in some of the best players in the world. You need Steph, you need Draymond, you need Clay, you need a dynasty for you to win basketball games. This is up to you. You came back against a Lakers team that just has old man LeBron James, and you find yourself down 0-2.
Well, not just that. I mean, 2 former Celtics, Kennard and Marcus Smart now are the 2 best players on the court, Donnie. I mean, they combined to go 8 of 13 last night and 8 3-pointers. Meanwhile, Kevin Durant, who we didn't learn until maybe about within the hour of tip-off that he was going to go, but he looks terrible. I mean, he looks like that knee is a problem. And then he turns the ball over 9 times in the game, only takes up a handful of shots, and nobody else can pick it up for the Rockets, who once again could not manage any 3-point perimeter game whatsoever. And that's it. That was the ball game once again for the Rockets. They're getting worse as this series progresses.
And also Lakers waiting to say, hey, when's Austin Reeves going to come back? And when else are we going to get some updates here on some other guys? So those coming back into the fold. But the NBA playoffs certainly underway. Some of these underdog teams performing extremely well. Let's flip it over quickly to some NFL talk and also some college football talk. Hey, Florida State. It's been some down times here since they did not make the college football playoff and decided to tank in the Orange Bowl and get waxed by Georgia. Florida State's named Auburn transfer quarterback Ashton Daniels its starting quarterback here. Florida State just feels like they're grasping at straws, and the renovations at the school and the football field and the team, and they don't have enough money to fire Norvell, so they bring him back. Man, Florida State falling on some hard times here, huh?
Yeah, no, not good, Donnie. And if that is your prize signing and is going to be the quarterback of the future, yeesh. Although he might be better in the ACC than he was there in the SEC, that's for sure. But yeah, Norvell's not exactly a great history of producing quarterbacks at Florida State right now.
The Pittsburgh fan base here. Get a load of this from NBC News. Local officials said they expect around 500,000 to 700,000 people for the NFL draft. Pittsburgh only has a population of 300,000. And if you're going to the draft, you want to enjoy yourself, hey, keep in mind, it's in Pittsburgh. Last 2 days here over in New Jersey, we were waking up to temperatures in the 20s here. So fantastic. So appropriately so, those pictures, Joe. You see a lot of people there covering their face and also wearing, headgear to stay warm. Yeah, that's Pittsburgh here. But over the 3 days, they'll get a pretty good crowd for a draft that isn't getting a ton of hype right now, Joe.
No, I mean, stop bringing it to places like Pittsburgh and Cleveland and Green Bay and in the middle of, the winter. Still pretty cold in them parts, Donnie, apparently. Wouldn't it be fun if people and fans had an opportunity to take a little vacation to, I don't know, some sort of warm weather destination, Donnie? Maybe a few more people would be interested in showing up.
How about this one? Fernando Mendoza's like, yeah, Pittsburgh must be a good place. I'm not really going to show up there. Why? Yeah. I'm going to stay in with Miami, celebrate with the family, and I'm going to be a Raider anyway, which is in Vegas, another place with some really good weather. Yeah, I'll steer clear of Pittsburgh. In the NFL's eyes, this would be like, hey, I'm going to buy tickets for a Taylor Swift show. Boom, we're going to sell at the stadium. And Taylor Swift going like, I'm not performing at that stadium. Like, that is embarrassing for the NFL. The number one overall pick, Joe, and not even a surprise number one, like, ooh, I wonder on draft night, it's one of three guys. Like, no. The minute the season ended, it was always going to be Mendoza. On the biggest stage, he's like, I'm going to be with my family. You want to throw a camera down here? You can do that, but I'm not showing up to this function.
Yeah, and that's the ironic part of it all, and that's why the NFL's begging people, please, just put your phones down. Watch it instead. You got to, well, watch what? Watch a guy from his living room who couldn't be bothered walking out to the podium there? Like, if they're not interested, we're not going to be interested, Donnie.
How about being interested? Like, I love Jeopardy, and anytime they get a sports topic on Jeopardy, that brings me in, and you watch the nerds up there who can't answer any question, like, who, in what award is the World Series given out? I don't know. Who wins the World Series? Golf. No, and they'll get a good laugh at that here. But how about this? Jeopardy is coming to ESPN for ESPN Jeopardy, which means it will be sporting, and Joe Buck's going to be the host of that. It's an interesting thing. Now, Darren Ravel, no stranger to some really interesting tweets, says, given that ESPN is struggling with the young audience, this is a very strange decision. There are so many better hosts that appeal to younger fans. FaZe Rug, Robbie Berger, Dude Perfect guys, and I Show Speed. So I like to start the topic of a conversation with this. ESPN is struggling because they got away from which everybody grew up and loved. Give me the sports, give me the highlights, give me the fun shows, give me the games. They went away with that. So that's why the ratings are in the tank. So now Darren Bell's basically like, hey, we can give them something that a lot of people like to watch and enjoy, but the younger demographic isn't going to watch Jeopardy anyway. Exactly. They're not watching ESPN anyway, Joe. Give us Joe Buck, give me ESPN Jeopardy, and I'll watch.
Kind of crazy, Donnie, right? So you're gonna pull out the Jeopardy franchise to save a tanking ratings, and you're gonna put Joe Buck on there, huh? All right,
come on.
Good luck there.
How about Joe Ranieri on there? You want to host?
I have a good time. Give me an AI Alex Trebek, and I'll watch.
We're going to do, you know what? We're going to spend a half hour every day coming up on the early line doing our own form of Jeopardy. How about that, Joe?
Yes.
Bam! Network saver right here. We'll be back. Walsh can host it. Have Kevin. Was the big news yesterday the New York Mets losing 12 games in a row? Probably not. Was the big news that a lot of upsets happened in the NBA? Yeah, could be. How about the NHL yesterday? Yeah, they had some big doings. Or how about leading up to the NFL draft where most teams are getting ready for that? There's one team that is going along with the controversy, whether it's from a quarterback that was smashing phones or an owner that was headed to massage parlors before AFC championship games, or could it be a team's head coach that's mixed in with a reporter giving inside information? Let's check out the press conference yesterday here with Mike Vrabel.
First, begin by saying thank you. Thank you for your patience that you've shown in a personal and private matter for me and obviously everybody involved. I know that that's not easy for you.
He's squirming up there, Joe.
I appreciate your efforts in doing so. I understand I could have, addressed you guys sooner, but it was important to me to have a conversation with the players, which I did yesterday. Very
Listen to that maniac typing in the background too. My goodness.
Program, which everyone is excited to be a part of. Stacy had mentioned the players' availability, and never my intention to have them speak to you or address you before I did. And so I asked him to come today and to talk with you. I also
we need a body language analysis show from this guy right now.
The draft, the weekend of the draft. This is an important time for us, our organization, and the excitement and the joy that those players are going to have that we bring onto our football team. They're starting an amazing journey, one that should be celebrated as we welcome them onto our team. With that being said, I've had some difficult conversations with people that I care about, with my family, the organization, the coaches, the players. Those have been positive and productive. We believe in order to be successful on and off the field, you have to make good decisions. That includes me, that starts with me. We never want our actions to negatively affect the team. We never want to be the cause of a distraction. Those are comments and questions that I've answered for the team and with the team. We'll keep those private and to ourselves. Care deeply about this football team and excited to coach them. I also know that I'm going to attack each day with humility and focus. And what I can promise you is that my family, this organization, the team, the staff, the coaches, everybody, our fans, most importantly, will get the best version of me going forward. And that's what I know, and I'm excited to do that. But I wanted to just address this and thank you for your patience in dealing with the private and personal matter.
Yeah, that was 2 minutes and 30 seconds of Vrabel basically saying, yeah, I did it, and I got caught, and that's the way it went down, because you saw that solidarity on the front when it first came out. Friends trip, girls trip, hiking trip here at this point. And if you're not guilty, Joe, and you say, I have a really good job that pays me a lot of money, I'm not giving this up. And you know what? I'm going to sue whoever took those pictures, and I'm going to sue the resort who allowed those pictures to be taken when it was supposed to be private. Well, Diana Rossini, Joe, what does she do? Yeah, I'm going to announce my resignation here. Oh, you're guilty then. Mike Vrabel stands up there and talks for 2.5 minutes in circles, basically saying, I messed everything up, and I had to apologize to my family and tell my wife that, infidelity is what's taking place, and I'm sorry, kids, that I embarrassed you, and Mr. Kraft, you've been through this before. Can you show leniency on me, just like the NFL did you? And hopefully we can all move on in the next cycle of information that comes out that will put this in the back seat here, Joe. But it's nice to see the admission of guilt, but it really wasn't an admission of guilt.
It was more of an admission that, all right, you caught me, than Rossini gave, because she basically... She just threw, she went down swinging, going, listen, my contract's up. I have no interest in entertaining this ridiculousness anymore, and just moving on. Like she gave nothing like Vrabel did. There was no contrition. There was nothing. There was just like, well, my contract is not going to get renewed anyway, so I'm out of here. I'm not going to play these games and these lies and everything. Well, how are you going to explain that one, Rossini? Because now Vrabel's like, yeah, I had to have a difficult conversation with my family and people I love. Oops. But the bottom line is, 2 weeks from now, nobody will even remember this was a thing, Donnie. And that is what he is hoping for sooner rather than later.
Exactly. Remember Kobe Bryant got himself in some trouble, had
Yep.
to buy like the biggest diamond ring in the history of the human race to try to get by that? Who knows what Vrabel's got to do with his wife? But also understand this. Sometimes it's so simple. Show your wife or your significant other a picture of what Vrabel and Rossini look like, their interlocking hands. Guilty as charged. You ain't coming back from that. But we are. It's hour number 2. We got to come back from it. We do. Hour number 2 in full effect. What do we do in hour number 2? Well, Prediction Markets Edge comes your way in about a half hour. Some best bets around that same time as well. Our Fade the Public poll, as well as Kevin Walsh in the next segment going to join us here and talk some NBA and some of the hottest topics across sports. We always like that. It's Joe Raniere. It's Donnie Wrightside. It's a Hump Day Wednesday. It's the Sports Grid Network. It's the early line, Joe. It's what we do for the people. Get them caught up to date here. We don't ever come on here like Vrabel and have to apologize to people. We bring the truth and the facts to the people and let them decide.
It's what it's all about, Donnie, right? Knowledge is power, and that's all we want to provide here for you is start your day, get your leg up, know what's going on, and see if we can't, cash a few tickets along the way.
Big afternoon baseball slate today. Also, you got the NHL playing tonight in Philadelphia Center Stage. You only got 2 NBA games tonight, but a lot of other things to talk about, which include, Joe, tomorrow night. The NFL draft is going to take place. Round number 1, first round action. A lot of trades, hopefully a lot of excitement because Fernando Mendoza says he ain't showing up to Pittsburgh. Give the people in Pittsburgh what they want. That's a lot of excitement there. And maybe a couple trades for those Pittsburgh Steelers because the one thing we do know, Joe, their quarterback ain't letting them know if he's coming back or not. But as we go to the early line and the hottest topics, we get to a team in the division of the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's the Baltimore Ravens. One of the best defensive linemen in football is Nnamdi Madubuike. Mysteriously went down with that neck injury. Never want to mess with that. Has had surgeries, hopefully on the mend. That is a key cog to that defense getting right where they hope it's supposed to be.
Huge news there. Good for him. Good for the Ravens. Let's make sure that he stays on the field this year. And if they do, that defense will look a lot different. And that defense will get to the quarterback a lot more than they did a year ago.
Interesting stuff there because, again, Jesse Minter is that head coach, defensive guy, defensive stalwart coming back. Big things for Lamar Jackson. Let's see what we can do down there in the Charm City this year. Billy Donovan, he's stepping down as the Chicago Bulls head coach. Most people step down like, hey, I won 9 championships in 11 years. I'm just tired. It's just let me retire. Like Nick Saban going to ESPN. Like, hey, you know what? This is a pretty good second life. Billy Donovan, he looks exhausted. Look at he's looked like a young, youthful guy, jet black hair. Look at him, Joe. Gray hairs all over the place. Chicago destroyed this guy, and he says he's out.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate, too, because he really did try everything there. Like, he gave it the old college try there, but unfortunately, you lose that much after a while. It weighs on you. But it starts at the top, right? It doesn't make a difference how good a coach you have. If you don't have the right people from the front office down, it's going to be a disaster, and that's what it was. But, again, I don't think he is just going to disappear and not coach anymore. I still think that Orlando might be looking for a new head coach next season, no matter what happens here. And I also think there could be a college job or two, including maybe the University of Kentucky, that might need a new head coach.
Coach K back in the news, but not for something that he basically did. It was his grandson charged in a fatal DUI collision here. And the only thing I could say at this point is, knowing people will get you out of some things, but honestly, DUI is one of the worst decisions that you can make. And it's always that, hey, when you had too much. And you always see the guys like the show cops. How many beers did you have tonight? 1 or 2. The guy can't even talk straight. No doubt he had 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 beers in the last 3 to 4 hours. If you are, make sure you have somebody out there with you that can drive you home. If not, you pick up your phone, you press one button. You probably spend $20 on an Uber and drive you home safely so you don't have these problems here. The DUIs, come on, man, they're easily avoidable.
And this happened a couple of years ago too, Donnie, right? This was not something I think that happened recently here. I remember hearing about it, and then the big question was, all right, was there, Coach K, any influence here to try to no, personal responsibility. It's a lose-lose situation one way or the other. Feel terrible for the family who with the person that was killed in this DUI crash. There's just no winners in here. It's unfortunate across the board.
Talking about a lose-lose situation and no winners here. How about this next team, which I got to try to count with my fingers. Let's go. Lose, 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 lose. That's 5. Lose, 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 lose. That's 10. Lose, lose. Ooh. That's the New York Mets right there. That's 12 straight losses for the Mets, who hope Juan Soto could get dropped in from the clouds today to pick up a win. They're also favored to do that. Yesterday, they were up 3-0. By the way, Joe, it sounds like every night they're getting beaten 9-1. They had that 1-0 lead into the 9th inning. The other night blew the save here. They had a 3-0 lead at home yesterday, lose 5-3. They're getting it from all angles. The Mets, 12 straight losses with that payroll in New York. Unacceptable.
Again, you got to have glass half full here if you're a Mets fan, right? You're not going to lose every game in this year, okay? So hold out hope. They are rushing Juan Soto back here. I am sure he'll be good for maybe a game or two before he actually pulls the calf again. So you'll be fine. It'll be, you'll be good to go. Sooner or later, you'll win a game. I promise. Just likely not this week.
Mike Vrabel with those tough conversations at home. Joe, now play this out for me. Like, what happens when he comes home, the news breaks? Does he call the family meeting by text? Like, okay, we're all meeting together at 4:00 tonight in the living room to talk about some things. Like, how did that go down? Did the wife bounce a couple pots off his head when he walked in the door? Like, how'd this go down?
Yeah, well, there's also, you never know what goes on in, a man's personal life here is his own personal life. But, my experience has been that there is probably a hint of,
Joe?
Listen, I know some guys in situations like this, Donnie, where if you think it was a shock to the family, it likely was not a shock to the family. Let's just leave it at that.
I'll tell you what's not a shock. Mike Tomlin stepping down basically as the Steelers head coach and immediately getting picked up by a major network in NBC. He's going to join the booth of NBC's Sunday Night Football coverage. And understand this, too. Sunday Night Football, that football night in America, I understand there's way too many. Like, if you just want to put Tomlin and a host on somebody else, I'm with that. But don't give me Mike Tomlin and he gets to speak for 30 seconds because you have 70 other hosts over that 40-minute or so show. Tomlin is really good on the mic. I think he'll thrive in this spot here. And I think it's good, but let him talk on the mic.
Listen, he'll be good, but don't get used to it because next year he'll be back on the sidelines coaching a team. But it's a good reprieve. I mean, it's nice. He can walk away here a little bit, breathe, laugh. The fact that, the Steelers, it could have been him for Aaron Rodgers to decide whether or not he's heard from the gods above if he should still play football. So I think he's going to enjoy himself. I think it's a great experience. But ultimately, I think it's a one-and-done type situation with him.
Yeah, we need a Kalshi marketplace on Mike Tomlin being the head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals in 2 years here at this point. Oh, that would be great. You put that on opening night right there, at least that opening night weekend on Sunday Night Football. Boom. Tomlin coaching the Bengals at the Pittsburgh Steelers. That would be perfect here. How about this? Joe Buck, as if he doesn't have enough jobs. ESPN Jeopardy, which I assume would be a nightly thing. Is he going to call games and be around the country but still film? We'll see how it works out. But ESPN looking to go back to a Jeopardy format with sports involved, Joe.
So it's kind of like trivia night on ESPN with Joe Buck. Okay. Yeah, why not? I mean, listen, a lot of people grew up watching Alex Trebek and Jeopardy there. Why not do the sports edition?
What's Tony Reali doing these days? Can't he just come in and host that at this point?
Yeah.
Like, we need Joe Buck. Now, understand, put it this way, Joe, right? Because we all see the same things. And sometimes you're like, okay, Tom Brady's going to call the game. That's cool. But NFL fans are going to watch the game whether Tom Brady's calling it or not. So I'm pretty sure that Joe Buck's getting a nice pay bump to do this. But because Joe Buck is attached to the show, not a single extra person is watching that show because it is Joe Buck calling that show. Am I right? Like, oh, I got to watch this. Joe Buck's on it. I got to handle this. Let's go.
Yeah, well, I guess maybe the requirement is, you got to be able to read? I don't know, because it's not like he's going to be bringing a whole lot of, this is a guy that most people will know the voice, but not necessarily know. It's not like he's on camera all the time calling football and baseball games and those things. So it's interesting.
Where's the whole FaZe Clan? By the way, Kevin Walsh, huge FaZe Clan and clavicular guy coming up next here on the program.
There are guys are great. We don't know that about Cal Raleigh. It is possible that Cal Raleigh isn't one of the 5 best catchers in baseball by the end of this season. And that's the difference. It's not possible that Aaron Judge isn't one of the 5 best outfielders in baseball. That's not on the board. It's on the board for Cal Raleigh.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The New York Knickerbockers are NBA champions. Da 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 da. Canyon of Heroes, parade, convertibles, hot chicks in Knick jerseys. The Knicks finally get over the hump and win an NBA title. And there's me, and there's Jalen Brunson.
The Craig Carden Show, only on SportsGrid.
Get it, man. Maybe this is more of a Kalshi poly market conversation to jump in on the prediction markets, but to me, this is the spot that I would roll with the Rays, man. I think they're undervalued every year, and I think they're undervalued this year again. Look, the Yankees should be the favorite. They're the best team on paper. Baltimore, Toronto, and Boston? Donnie, are they that much better than Tampa Bay? What am I missing here?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Do you think technology and those earpieces, again, when it comes to the development of the quarterbacks, is hurt the game?
The development of the quarterback position is getting worse and worse and worse because you don't see live action, you don't get game time experience, and you're going to have to develop in a slower way. And to me, if you don't have the people around you, it's going to be a tough road to be able to play the game.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
Let's get down to the business. We talk about a theory that comes up from time to time, and if you're just a novice to sports gambling, you still might hear this. The zigzag theory. Whoa, teams got blown out night number 1. Take that team that got blown out night number 2 because they can't lose 2 games in a row when sometimes they do lose 2 games in a row. It's Donnie right side of Joe Ranier. It's Kevin Walsh welcoming into the show. Game Time Decisions host, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern. Kevin, a lot of stuff to get to, which includes a lot of shocking NBA scores last night and a lot of alarms going off right now. Kevin, wake it up. Let's go. Get it.
Somebody better wake up that Houston Rockets offense. My goodness. And that is a tough watch through 2 games. What is remarkable, though, as we are now 14 games in to the NBA playoffs, I am pretty sure we have yet to see a team cover in a loss. We had 3 dogs cover last night. I think we've now had 5 consecutive underdogs cover a number, and it was all just outright victories. Like, it's not common, I feel, because these aren't just 1-point lines, 2-point lines. There were multiple double-digit spreads on the board last night, and it's just, it's boom or bust situations right now with these basketball games so far.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But the problem was, Kevin, I had no idea Kevin Durant appears that hurt. I mean, he did not look even remotely close to the same player. And this just happened, last Wednesday in practice, apparently. But that doesn't look to me like a guy that is like they're just, rub some dirt on and get some ice back in here. Houston could very well be in trouble here.
Yeah, I think they are, Joe. I actually, to your point about the timing of the injury, I didn't even think Durant was going to play. And I'm not so sure it was the right decision to play him. Maybe, look, there were moments they could only score if he was on the court. So I'm not saying they would have been better without him. But if Durant is a little banged up, instead of giving him 41 minutes last night, he could have waited until Friday to make his debut in this series, which would have, of course, been at home and would have given Kevin Durant 2 full weeks off from the regular season. Now, again, I know the injury happened in between that, but I just wonder if that would have been a nicer landing spot for Kevin Durant in this series. But here's the thing, man, and I understand you guys will be like, oh, we knew Kevin will say this, but too bad. LeBron James is still, without a doubt, better than Kevin Durant. Like, that's just what it is. Like, you look at those two side by side, and the better basketball player, the guy leading his team, is LeBron James, not Kevin Durant.
It's pretty amazing to see how it plays out because we were just expecting, like, oh, look at that. Houston's going to line up against the Lakers. Rockets got him at the right time. They should be able to blow through. It's just LeBron. What can he do? And LeBron playing good basketball through 2. Series isn't over, but it looks like the Lakers' help might be on the way as well, where the Rockets just look like a team that's out of it at this point. 94 points last night, completely unacceptable. But how about the other 2 games last night, Kevin? Me being a Sixers fan, no hope. Like, hey, Flyers are playing well right now. The Phillies are stinking. Oh, the Sixers are on. I don't really want to watch that game. So I start out watching the game. It looked like a carbon copy of game number 1. This is going to be a wrap by the end of the first quarter. I didn't even check into the game, Kevin, until I tweeted out last night the halftime score. Wait a second. The 76ers showing up big, which include VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey carrying that squad. I was blown away. Not that the Sixers won the game, which was ridiculous, that they even stayed within a 2-touchdown number and still won by double digits on the road. What do you make of that game last night? Is that just a wake-up call for the Celtics?
Maybe. And I'm trying to keep in mind that even the best versions of Boston have found a way to give a game away when, they're not usually supposed to. However, you watch some of it last night and man, Jaylen Brown is just dribbling the air out of the basketball. And you kind of remember like, oh, he wasn't allowed to do that. And then Tatum got hurt, and now Jaylen Brown's like, yep, I'm going to dribble the basketball, until no end. And it's like, oh, you're attacking Jaylen Brown off a game where he had 36, but just the flow offensively I didn't find as smooth for Boston as the game went on. And I think for Philadelphia, it's It's kind of similar. Like, I'm actually curious, Donnie, what you think about the Lakers and Luke and Reeves and whether or not they can come back. But for a team like Philly, if you win here and you take one in Philadelphia, you're giving yourself a chance for Joel Embiid to come back. That's maybe more important than anything else, right? Like, that was my biggest thing for the Rockets in losing this game. The Lakers are a win away from guaranteeing at least a game 7. Call me crazy. If there's a game 7, I think Reeves and Luka Doncic play in that basketball game. If Celtics Sixers goes 6, I think in Philly, I could be wrong. I tend to think Joel Embiid's playing in that 6th basketball game. It completely flips the series on its head now if you bring guys like that back into the equation.
It's actually interesting there that you bring it up that way, because sometimes it's not about like, well, you just expect Joel Embiid to be an MVP or coming back, or Austin Reeves for the Lakers being like at the top of this game, or even Luka. Sometimes just getting those guys back in the lineup eases it in, because they can take up 10, 15, 25 minutes from the bench players that we're giving so much for. And also just a lift on the court. We've all played sports at any level where you know the best player on your team, whether it was you or not, and like, hey man, Joey's coming back. Oh man, that's going to be awesome to get to play again. Like, sometimes just like that, Joe. So when you look at this series, I'll throw it to Ranieri too. Lakers in 5.
Oof. Wow. That's asking a lot. That is asking a lot. Depends if they get reinforced, but I'll tell you what, if Marcus Smart, Luke Kennard continue to give you the kind of minutes that they have given this team, can they do that on the road? If they can, then yeah, because Houston right now might be talking to themselves across the board there, Kev, because they can't score. It's MIA.
You also have to think J.J. Redick is living through Luke Kennard, right? Like, everyone's like, who knew Luke Kennard could do this? And I got to imagine J.J. Redick's like, I did, because I could have done this. They just weren't giving me all these opportunities. So, look, what a crazy night of hoops. I will say, for the Suns, can you cover in a loss tonight? Can you please not lose by 40 to OKC?
Yeah, just give us a close game at the break. That's all we ask for. And you'll be watching Game Time Decisions at 6 p.m. with Kevin Walsh and Gabriel Morency. We'll be right back.
There are guys you know are great. We don't know that about Cal Raleigh. It is possible that Cal Raleigh isn't one of the 5 best catchers in baseball by the end of this season. And that's the difference. It's not possible that Aaron Judge isn't one of the 5 best outfielders in baseball. That's not on the board. It's on the board for Cal Raleigh.
Game Time Decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The New York Knickerbockers are NBA champions. Da 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 da. Canyon of Heroes, parade, convertibles, hot chicks in Knick jerseys. The Knicks finally get over the hump and win an NBA title. And there's me, and there's Jalen Brunson.
The Craig Carden Show, only on SportsGrid.
Get it, man. Maybe this is more of a Kalshi poly market conversation to jump in on the prediction markets, but to me, this is the spot that I would roll with the Rays, man. I think they're undervalued every year, and I think they're undervalued this year again. Look, the Yankees should be the favorite. They're the best team on paper. Baltimore, Toronto, and Boston? Donnie, are they that much better than Tampa Bay? What am I missing here?
Pro Baseball Today, only on SportsGrid.
Do you think technology and those earpieces, again, when it comes to the development of the quarterbacks, is hurt the game?
The development of the quarterback position is getting worse and worse and worse because you don't see live action, you don't get game time experience, and you're going to have to develop in a slower way. And to me, if you don't have the people around you, it's going to be a tough road to be able to play the game.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
The Buffalo Sabres last night took on the Boston Bruins for game number 2 in their series. An electric game number 1 in Buffalo showed them get out to a 1-0 series lead. Last night, you could put that stranglehold on Boston, so you bring out the big guns in order to do that. And I was watching live at the start of the game where Josh Allen was introduced to the crowd, bang on the drum, let's go Buffalo, and Buffalo got housed in that game, so the jokes run themselves. Let's get to the video here of what we saw from Josh Allen last night. There you go, Josh. Start of a good night. Got waxed by the Boston Bruins. That series goes 1-1 back to Beantown, Joe. How about that one?
Yeah, gotta love it. So that's unfortunate because that was the most excited Buffalo fans were the entire night there because it didn't go very well for them last night.
By the way, Joe, did you see the one goal that made it 2-0, which was like, let me just backhand it from center ice, and went right in the net? It's like, yeah, you know what? Let's head to the exits. This just isn't our night at this point right now. That's it. Done deal. Done deal at this point. Let me bring up this next topic here, Joe, before we get to our Fade the Public poll. How about this from the archive? 75 years ago, the Rochester Royals won the 1951 NBA Finals, taking down the New York Knicks in game number 7 at the Edgerton Park Arena in the city's north side. I think Tommy's great-great-grandfather was at that game, Joe, no?
Oh, yeah, Tommy, I don't think, well, it could be. It runs in the family, right? I think absolutely it was there. But it's been a hot minute, Donnie. It's been a hot minute.
It has been hot. By the way, is there a rivalry I always want to know between Binghamton and Rochester? Like, which one's the better city? Sometimes we just might never know, Joe. We just might never know. But I'll tell you what we know now. Our Fade the Public poll is here. Let's get after it. Now, look, this question asked, which team has the best chance to overcome their 0-2 series deficit? We had one put out earlier this morning, which had a wrong team on there. We had to replace it out, so we didn't get a lot of votes on this one right now, Joe. But apparently, the Houston Rockets and the Pittsburgh Penguins have the best chance to overcome their 0-2 series deficits. Nobody helping out the Kings or the Raptors here, Joe. Just leaving them to die.
Yeah, apparently not. I don't. Just no chance, Donnie, that they any of them come back here at all. I don't see it. Although I would not be shocked. I'm telling you now, I still think the Raptors have a shot at least getting a couple of wins in that series. I wouldn't exactly think that the Cavs are going to run away because I've seen the Cavs where they play with their food a little too much. I think Toronto has got an opportunity here.
Yep, and Gary Bettman, who tried his best to put the Penguins on 16 power plays to beat the Flyers, it didn't work out. He probably is going to make some extra phone calls in Philadelphia. You touch Sidney Crosby, that's exactly what you're going to get. 2 minutes for roughing or interference here, Joe. It's best bet day on a Wednesday. Let's get after it. Here's our bye. Let's go, people. Joe Ranieri, where do we head tonight? So much on the docket. Where's your best bet at?
Well, I don't understand the line, Donnie. So I'm taking it. I mean, you know, I'll take the 8.5, 9 points with Orlando tonight. I mean, listen, Cade Cunningham had 39 points in game 1, and Detroit still lost by 11. Why? Because nobody else around him was able to handle the physicality of Orlando. Orlando outscored Detroit 54-34 in the paint. All 5 starters of Orlando were in double figures to me. So, that doesn't sound like a team that got lucky, Donnie, Orlando. That sounds like a matchup issue right now here for Detroit. I don't need them to win. I just need them not to lose by 9 points here, Donnie. And I think Orlando can keep this close. I'll take the points.
Road dogs are the key tonight. 2 games in the association, one at 7 o'clock, one at 9:30. For me, Joe, I'm going to late night action, 9:30 p.m. The Phoenix Suns and the Oklahoma City Thunder. 17.5 points here. Zigzagging crazy for me. I'm going to take the Suns getting the 17.5. And by the way, only 40% of the early ticket count coming in on those Phoenix Suns. And as Joe pointed out, Some outlets as high as 19.5, bought back to 17.5. I'm going to ride with fading the public for OKC. Just hang around. Oh, Suns got blown out. They lost by 16. Awesome. That means they covered. Nobody wants to take the Suns tonight, Joe. Your boy DRS, he's taking the Suns tonight. Let's go 2-0 on the Dogs in the NBA as we slide it over to prediction, markets, edge coming up on the early line right after this break, people. Do not go anywhere.